Hello, my name is Jennifer Kays, and Mrs. Lawson asked me to make a video talking about a biography that I read about Leonardo da Vinci. I highly recommend it. It was written by Walter Isaacson, and go ahead and begin. Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci means from Vinci. Vinci was the town where he was born. He was born to an unmarried mother. He was born a bastard. His father was a notary and was very organized and very methodical, and Leonardo was kind of the opposite of his dad. So throughout his young life, while his dad does claim him, the notary, and tries to get jobs for him to paint and so on, they really don't see eye to eye. And his dad would often get frustrated with how Leonardo would start jobs and then never finish him. One of the things that's brought up in the book is that we really don't have a lot of paintings by Leonardo da Vinci that are finished enough to call them paintings. Most of them aren't even finished. We only have about 15 or so. There are really three Leonardo da Vinci's. There is the medicine man, okay? There is also the engineer and the artist. So this book kind of goes into how Leonardo would go into the morgues and cemeteries, and he would dissect bodies, and he has tons of notes that still survive today of almost every part of the body, every ligament, muscle. There's also like a baby in utero that he drew, but they're almost like science books, while they are in themselves pieces of art. It's estimated that there are 72,000 pages that Leonardo da Vinci left behind, full of drawings and full of, hypotheses about how the world worked, how the body worked. So in addition to almost this, this medicine man, we remember he comes up with the Vitruvian man, which is kind of this perfectly symmetrical man within a square and within a circle. The second part of the book goes heavily into his engineering interests. A lot of his notes are also drawings of different machines and basically machines. Like for instance, there's a prototype for a helicopter, and he designed these wings for someone to wear to make them so that they could fly. But how he really supported himself in the Italian courts. He worked in two specific Italian courts. One was for the Sforzas, and I can't remember the other kind of like minor king that he worked for. But for one of them, he made machines for the theater. So he did all of these contraptions so that the actors could look like they were flying, moving the scenery around, ships, all kinds of theatrical moving machines that so they could put on plays for the courts. The other one that he did not enjoy and that he actually tried to leave very soon after securing this job was war machines. He built and designed war machines. So eventually he does get out of the war machines job, and I think he goes back to the theater post for a little while. But eventually, towards the end of his life, he gets a patron that's very famous, King Francois the First of France. He thoroughly, almost kind of like falls in love with Leonardo da Vinci. He admires him, he respects him, he wants to be like him. And so he talks Leonardo into moving to France. And one of the paintings that Leonardo brings with him is the Mona Lisa. And you can do a whole lot of research on the Mona Lisa with the sfumato, and that's a painting technique. There are all these like theories about her smile and how enigmatic it is. There's also, things that you can perceive about like blood flow through the arms, etc., the way they're situated. Eventually, Leonardo is dying, and he dies in Amboise. They don't know exactly where his grave is, but he dies in France. And he works on the Mona Lisa the last 10 years of his life. And that's one of the reasons that it ends up in Paris, in the Louvre, because he was working for Francois the First, who, as I said, really enjoyed him. So the book I'm recommending is Walter Isaacson's Leonardo da Vinci. It's full of the drawings that Leonardo made. And luckily I met the author at the Cat Island Coffee House. So very interesting. So pick it up.